Good afternoon, Robert Scribbler. It is August 4th, 2018. Thank you for joining me for another climate change and clean energy video blog. Now, for this segment, I'm going to talk a little bit about a subject that we don't typically touch on here, and that's harmful materials production related to fossil fuels. Now, but just as a refresher, I'm going to talk a bit about the greenhouse gas forcing that is produced by emissions related to fossil fuels, primarily from fossil fuel burning. And that greenhouse gas forcing is primarily composed of CO2, which is the largest adder to additional heat trapping in the Earth's atmosphere. And what we're looking at here is a graph provided by NOAA's Earth System Research Laboratory. And as you can see, carbon dioxide is the primary influencer in the present climate crisis. And the majority of carbon dioxide from human activity is produced by fossil fuel burning, the vast majority. Now, in addition, the second greatest impact to heat trapping in the Earth's atmosphere is methane. And a good chunk of that comes from fossil fuel extraction and opening up giant coal mines which leach methane into the atmosphere, as well as operating leaky gas pipelines or fracking the Earth itself, which can result in an increased leakage of methane into the Earth's atmosphere. Now, there are other methane adders these include feedbacks from the Earth system, such as wildfires or permafrost thaw, as well as land management practices and agriculture. So there's a portion of methane that comes from fossil fuel activity. Now, I'm going to talk about a new study that shows that there's another fossil fuel related activity that contributes methane and polyethylene to the Earth's atmosphere, both of which are greenhouse gases. But before I do, I'm just going to say that all of these impacts, these harmful impacts related to human-caused climate change, provide more impetus for transitioning away and just halting fossil fuel burning and fossil fuel use in such a way that results in greenhouse gas emissions that heat up the Earth's atmosphere. And to this point, it was recently announced that Costa Rica was going to ban fossil fuel use, which is a titanic announcement and resolution for this state, and in my opinion, a very positive one for the climate. And I hope that other cities, states, and regions follow suit. So the issue today is that, according to reports from a new study from PLOS, plastic itself is not just clogging up the environment with a toxic and harmful substance, clogging up the world's oceans, the world's rivers, and just many of the world's land masses and landfills with a toxic substance. But in addition, plastic is also leaching methane and other greenhouse gases into the Earth environment. And according to the study, approximately 9 billion tons of plastic have been produced since the 1950s, and that this continued production does have an additive impact to the climate crisis, because as plastic sits in the sun, the ultraviolet light breaks it down and forms another source of greenhouse gas emission. So a lot of people will sometimes talk about how important a raw material fossil fuels are and how helpful they are to the global economy. And in all honesty, there are many other substances that can be used instead of fossil fuels for the raw materials that we produce, not just for energy, but for things like straws and cups and various materials that we use in building and construction. And one example here is the biodegradable straw, which is made from sugarcane fiber. Now, oftentimes, various different food plants can be broken down. The byproducts of the food plants after the food is harvested can be broken down and turned into biodegradable plastic. And this is a new field that provides yet another substitute for a harmful material related to fossil fuels. So I just thought I'd let you know that there are numerous harmful impacts related to fossil fuel extraction and burning. The primary negative impact for human-caused climate change is fossil fuel burning, but there are other numerous negative impacts from fossil fuel-based materials. But in addition to that, we do have solutions that are available so long as we pursue them and produce them to scale. So thank you for joining me, and I'll be chatting with you soon.